nobody's on Facebook yet. So, I'm on today because I have a bunch of tools and I wanted to share them with you as it is the time of givens. So, even if you guys are not singers who are on here today, which I've noticed quite a few of you are, um, these exercises will help you. So, again, my mom says, "You're right, I don't know what that is." It means that you requested to put your face on my live, but I didn't accept it, so it's okay. So here's how this is gonna go. Obviously, there's not very many people here right now, but like I said, there will be a replay up of this. So I'm just gonna go through all the tips and tools anyway. And how this is gonna work, it's gonna be about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how much engagement I get from whoever pops in along the way. And I'm gonna give you 3 tips and I'm gonna give you 3 tools. So we are going to actually be doing actionable exercises today that you can incorporate into whatever it is you're doing. Like I said, even if you're not a singer, these exercises can help with life as well. So if you guys haven't already, I tried to tell you as we were opening up here, we will be taking lots of notes today. My dad says, "Yeah, I made it. Yay." So we will be taking lots of notes today. So pull out your notebook, pull out something to write with, grab a cup of coffee. I am doing this because it's National Espresso Day and I wanted to celebrate in some way. So what other way than sharing tips and tools on singing with mindfulness and ease? Oh, and that's the other thing before I start. This is about singing with mindfulness and ease. So this is not a voice lesson. This is giving you tips and tools for being able to use your voice in an easier way. So for example, if you hold a lot of tension in the body, you have trouble getting out high notes, these sorts of exercises will help you with that. If you deal with nervousness or feeling like scared before you sing, this will help with that as well. Hi, Julia. Thank you for joining us. So I was just sort of introing us into what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going through 3 tips, 3 tools. So, Julia, since you just joined us, grab something to write with, grab a journal, grab a piece of paper, grab some coffee. I'm going to hop in. Like I said, this will be replayed, so if you miss anything, feel free to watch the replay. So, you guys, before I hop in, just give me a yes in the chat if you're ready to take some notes. And if I don't hear anything in 1 minute, I'm going to move forward. Give me a yes in the chat. Give me a yes. Okay. Okay, Bryce and Julia are here ready to take some notes. Okay, I assume my parents are ready too because I think they're... Oh, not yet, not yet. Okay. I'll wait 30 more seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. I'm really going to do this. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Sing with me at home. 17, 16, 15, 14. Okay. We made it in 15 seconds. Amazing. So you guys, the first thing I want to answer is, what is singing with mindfulness and ease? So basically, singing or speaking with mindfulness and ease means that you're able to sing or speak without strain or excess tension because you're able to train your mind to be mindful of all the muscles in your body at all times. So why is this important? So this is extremely important because if you sing unconsciously or if you sing without being aware of the rest of your body, you could potentially be restricting the natural functions of your vocal cords. And for those of you who have never taken voice lessons before or don't know much about the anatomy of the voice, your vocal cords are the literal folds that come together that oscillate at a certain frequency so that sound can be created. And so if you're using outside tension in the muscles that you don't need to make those sound waves, you could actually be working against yourself. So that is the super importance of singing with mindfulness, because then you can begin to sing and speak with ease, which is what everybody wants, right? So for example, some of the examples I like to give is unnecessary tension in the body due to nervousness. So a lot of times when we get nervous, we have these unconscious physical tendencies that pop out. You know, you see a lot of people use their hands. or you see some people use their shoulders or restrict their neck or bring their head back to get high notes. Those are the types of things that I'm talking about that we want to begin to avoid. So type yes in the chat if you agree and if you're following. I need interaction, guys. I'm here by myself. Okay. I don't know if anybody's following, but I'm going to keep going. So, this is very important, being able to sing with mindfulness and ease. Thank you, my dad. So, this is very important because once you master being able to sing with mindfulness and ease, oh, thank you, Julia. I think there's a lag time, so I'll wait next time I ask a question. So this is super important because once you master this, you will know how to do 3 things, which is very exciting. So thing number 1 is you'll be able to notice tension in your body while singing, or you'll just be able to notice tension in your body in life. But for my singers, we're specifically talking about within our singing practice. So that's a really important one because sometimes, or a lot of times, we don't notice the things that we do with our bodies day to day. So it's really cool to be aware of that and to be mindful of that. So number 2, you'll be able to, once you recognize that tension, you'll be able to release that tension in the moment because you'll have tools to know how to do that, which is very exciting. And then number 3, you'll be able to ground your energy and you'll be able to breathe more easily while singing. And like I said, you can use these exercises even outside of singing. So you'll just be able to harness your energy better and you'll be able to breathe more easily. And we want all of those things, right? Okay, so I'm going to hop into tip number 1. Before we hop in, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll wait a little bit for the delay, the lag time. Christian Lamort joined. What's up, Christian? So I don't know if you sing, but we're talking about tips and tools for singing with mindfulness and ease. I was saying that these exercises can be used outside of singing as well. So thank you for being here. So you guys, if you don't have any questions, I will move into tip number 1, which is, write this down, it's important. Hey. Please always begin your singing practice with a quick centering and breathing exercise. One more time, please always begin your singing practice with a quick centering and breathing exercise. So this is so important. So whether this is for a voice lesson, a recording session, a performance, whether you're vocalizing on your own. Oh, hi, Good Voices. I think that's Christina. And thank you, Christian, for joining in to see what's up. So whether this is for anything, so whether you're vocalizing on your own or whether you're performing, whether you're auditioning, you want to make this an essential part of your singing work and your singing habits, because then it allows you to connect your voice with the rest of your body, and your voice and your sounds and your communication becomes more of a holistic part of who you are, as opposed to a thing that's sort of outside of yourself, because your voice is an essential part of who you are and how you communicate. So, hi. So that is tip number 1. And why is this so important? So I'm going to actually share with you my breathing technique after I give you these tools, after you write down all these notes. And the most important things that it's going to do for you are these 3 things. Number 1, you're going to learn how to expand your inhalation, or you're going to learn how to expand your breath support, expand your insides, so you have a deeper breath support. You're able to inhale more deeply and more fully. That's number 1. Number 2 is you're going to learn how to control your airflow. So you're going to learn how much air you actually need to be intaking and how much air you actually can control in terms of how much you need going out on your exhale. And you'll learn a little bit more about that when we do the exercise. But that's exciting because obviously you need control of how much air you put forth when you're singing or when you're speaking, so you don't run out of air. And number 3 is you're going to learn how to conquer your feelings of panic or nervousness or this sort of fight or flight feeling that comes in. And I say conquer, and what I mean by that is you'll be mindful enough to recognize anytime that it happens, and you'll have something to do about it. So I'm not saying that the feelings of panic will go away. I'm saying you'll know how to manage them, which is very exciting. And all of this to say that all of these things are important for singing. All of these things are also important for life, but you're not going to gain them right away. So you're not going to have access to these things right after the end of this call. I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to give you the notes now so that you can begin to practice them. And with constant repetition, you'll be able to feel those physical results, which is exciting. So any questions in the chat, or just give me a hey, just to make sure that you're still here with me before I move into our exercise. Let me see if anyone's here on Facebook. Nobody's here on Facebook, and I don't think it's showing up on my feed, so that's sad, but that's okay. Okay, I'm not hearing from anybody. Please, oh God. Please interact with me, you guys. Okay, we got a hey, we got a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so you guys, I will move into, okay, Bryce says, what are the physical results you can expect from training your voice? Okay, so this exercise will show you a little bit about that. There are multiple things that will happen. Thanks, Christian. Thanks for stopping by. So like I said, I told you a little bit about what this breathing exercise will do for you. And it depends on ultimately what you study with your voice, whether it's for, speaking or communication skills, or for singing. You can learn different things, but basically what you learn in a session is you learn how to control your vocal cords. So whether that means learning to speak with more confidence, learning to project all the way to the end of your sentences, or for singers, learning how to manipulate these muscles to get into different ranges of your voice. There are many, many different physical things that you can learn from voice lessons. And in addition, there are a lot of energetic exercises that I put into the process so that you learn more about your body as well. And again, that'll be one of the tools that I share with you a little later, so you'll actually get a feeling of what that feels like. So let's hop into tool number 1, which is what I call the JDC voice breath technique. And for those of you who have been taking lessons with me, you have done this exercise before. It might be old information, but you might experience it in a new way today. So I ask you to be open and to still take your notes and things like that. Okay, so this breath technique evolved. Oh, it's Christina. Yay, she says the energetic exercises have been incredibly helpful. That is so true. Again, true for singing, true for life. Okay, so this JDC voice breath technique, it evolved from one of the pranayama breathing techniques that I learned when I practiced Kriya Yoga. It evolved since then. I sort of turned it into my own thing, but it's based on the pranayama breathing technique. And I have a really great quote from Eckhart Yoga about what pranayama is. I'd just like to share that with you because I think it adds to what we're doing today. It says, pranayama refers to breathing exercises which clear the physical and emotional obstacles in our body to free the breath and so flow prana, which means the life force energy that lives in your body. So what we're doing with this exercise is more than just breathing and gaining support. We're actually literally moving the energy in our body. And like I said, with repeated practice of this, you can actually feel the physical sensations of what that might feel like. So I'm going to give you a little intro to this exercise. Usually I do this practice for about 5 to 15 minutes. But I'm going to share with you just an abbreviated version of that. We'll do like 1 to 2 minutes. But if you enjoy this, I encourage you to come back to this because I'll teach you the exercise and then you just repeat it for however long you want. So I encourage you to repeat it for as long as you can because it really does clear the mind, clears the energy, and it rebuilds your breath support, which is very exciting. So before I hop in, before we actually do the exercise, I want to give you a step-by-step, I want you to write down step-by-step notes so that you can practice on your own. So we'll do it together after this, but I want you guys to know fully mentally what you're doing because not only does practice make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. So if you've ever done any other sort of pranayama breathing technique, please indulge in my version today. See what it does for you before you make any of your own modifications because this really has been tested for myself and for a lot of my students and it really works. So one more precursor before I jump into those notes. I just want to let you guys know that at first this exercise is extremely uncomfortable and extremely challenging. I do not give my students anything that is easy. But the thing is that you want to work with where you're at, and you want to work with where your body is at today. And you want to make sure you're monitoring where your body is at day to day so that you can push yourself only to the best of your abilities. But you always want to make sure that you're pushing yourself and you're challenging yourself. So for those of my students who have done this technique before, give me a hey. Give me a hey in the comments. Hey. Gonna wait for that lag time. Christine, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Okay, I got a hey from Julia. That's good. We only need one. Yay. Okay, so Julia, let's try to experience this in a new way. We got a hey from my dad. So let's open up our minds today and do this from a fresh state of mind. So you guys, I'm going to have you take notes on the steps first, then we'll actually implement the exercise. Okay, so step number 1 is find a quiet place. Find a quiet and safe place that you can close your eyes, that has minimal distractions and minimal noise levels so that you can focus. And Christina says hi, because she's done this before. Amazing. So the first step, obviously, is make sure you're in a safe space. Make sure you're not distracted. You can focus on yourself. Step number 2 is you want to close your eyes, or you want to find a nice focal point in front of you if you're not quite to the place of being able to close your eyes for a long period of time. So you can find a focal point just slightly in front of you on the ground that's not moving, so that you can actually focus on it mentally and energetically. Oh my God, Alan! Hi, Alan! So for you who's just joining, we're having tips and tools on singing with mindfulness and ease. I know you like to sing a lot of karaoke, so this will be fun for you. So yes, so step number 2, close your eyes and focus inward. Step number 3, take a few deep breaths, and we're going to begin to pay attention to where your mind, your breath, and your body is at today. So this is a very important step because like I said, your body changes day to day. You're never in the same sort of cellular space. Hi, Ava. Ava's here. Welcome. So we're talking about some tips on mindfulness and ease. So day to day, your body, your brain, your energy, it's not the same. It changes, it fluctuates. So you're kind of just gauging where you're at that day so you know how to move forward with these exercises. So you're just closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and then you're just taking a moment to pay attention to, oh, my breathing's a little tight today. That's okay. Oh, my chest, it feels a little uncomfortable today. That's okay. So we're just paying attention to and noting things in our body that show up and just accepting them as they are without trying to change anything. And Glossy Jossie joined us. Welcome, Jossie. Thank you for joining from work. You're so sweet. Okay, so step number 2 and 3, I don't know what number I'm on anymore. You guys are writing it down. Pay attention to where your body is at. And then once you notice those things, you're going to send those parts of the body some thoughts of gratitude and some thoughts of love or some thoughts of release. So that means you notice, oh, my chest is a little tight. So now on your inhale, you're going to send yourself some thoughts of, oh, thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining me on this vocal journey. And like I said, we'll get into this when we do the exercise. So we're moving on to step number 3 or 4, or whatever the next step is. So this is the actual breathing exercise. So once you're all centered in, you're zoned into yourself. This is what the exercise actually is. So I'm going to tell you what it is, and then we're going to practice it after. So first step is we're going to breathe in slowly through the mouth as though you were breathing in through a straw. The purpose of this is that when you make your mouth tiny, you're taking in less air. So you're learning how to inhale without inhaling all your air at one time. So you're breathing in as though you're breathing in through a straw. And we're going to breathe in and inhale from your lower belly all the way to the top of your head for a full slow count of 8. a full slow count of 8. And what you want to make sure you're doing is you're filling up with as much air and filling up all the way to the end of that 8 count. It's very slow. So it's a bit of a challenge, but you want to try to do it because what you're doing is you're stretching the insides of your body and just reminding your body that there's so much more room for you to fill up with air. So again, you're expanding your breath support and you're making your body feel a little bit uncomfortable by giving it just a little bit of that extra air that you need. So you're filling up all the way to the full count of 8, and then at the top of your inhale, you're going to hold the breath. So we're going to hold the breath at the top of the inhale for 4 slow counts. And again, you'll notice when I inhaled, my shoulders went up a little bit. The inhale affected my body and I ended up like this on my hold. So what you want to make sure you're doing on the hold is you want to release that. You want to release the shoulders, the stomach, the chest, so that while you're still holding your breath. So what you're going to notice when you do this is you're going to be holding the breath for 4 long counts. Hi, thank you for joining. So you'll hold the breath for 4 long counts. You're continuing to hold the breath while dropping the shoulders, dropping the chest, dropping the stomach. When you do that, you're going to feel even more of an inward stretch or an inward, just a slight discomfort, a slight pressure on the insides of your body. That means you're just stretching those inside muscles to gain, again, awareness and more room to bring air. So again, this exercise is challenging. This exercise is difficult. It is not easy. Work with where you're at. So when we do this exercise, when you hold the breath at the top, if you cannot hold the breath for that long, please exhale sooner. But again, I challenge you to challenge yourself to the best of your abilities, because that is the best way that this exercise will work. If you don't push yourself, it's not going to do much for you. Okay, so we breathe in through the mouth for a count of 8. We hold the breath for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop the shoulders, drop the chest, drop anything. Tell your body you can do this. Then we exhale through the nose for a count of 8 again. This is very important. You're breathing in through the mouth, breathing out through the nose. They serve different purposes. So make sure you do this. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you're exhaling through the nose for the full count of 8. Again, it's very slow. Hi, Selena. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to get into our first exercise. This is exciting. So make sure you're exhaling through the nose for a full, slow 8 count. Again, we're learning to control how much air we actually need to be letting out. So making sure you're not just letting it all out at once. And again, since we're breathing so slowly, certain feelings of panic might arise in your system. Certain feelings of fight or flight, like you're suffocating. But the purpose of this exercise is that to show your brain that you actually are not suffocating. So your brain is very powerful. You actually, what's happening is that fight or flight that you're feeling in your exercises and when you're holding your breath for this long or beginning to learn how to breathe slower, what's happening is it's just a fear reaction from your fight or flight responses in your physical body, which is actually triggered ultimately from your brain. So if we learn to begin to train our brains to tell our bodies, no, there's more space for air, I am not dying, then we'll be able to begin to control and conquer those feelings of adrenaline that pop up in the body. So that's the main takeaway here is if you feel any feelings of panic or fight or flight or like you're suffocating in this exercise, you want to think of it as, okay, these are just feelings of adrenaline that are popping up in my body. Let me just figure out how to move through them. But again, if it's too much at first, work with where you're at. Take little breaths in between. Okay, so we're breathing in through the mouth as though we're breathing in through a straw. Full count of 8, breathing all the way to the top of the neck. Holding the breath for 4 counts, dropping the shoulders, dropping any tension in the chest and the stomach. Hold the breath, drop the shoulders. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. All the way back, starting from the shoulders, through the rib cage, back through the lower belly, and all the way through your legs. So, you guys give me a yes in the chat if you are ready to actually jump into this exercise, if you have everything written down, if you understand, or if you have any questions before we jump in. Also, for those of you who have just joined us, this is National Espresso Day today. Grab a cup of coffee, and if you'll notice, I'm talking very fast because I've already had 2. Okay, we got a yes from my dad. He's ready. So if you guys are ready, Julia's ready. Yay. Okay, so in our lessons, we usually do a exercise that wakes up the body. Today, we are just going to stand up and take 5 jumps. So everybody, if you wouldn't mind, we're going to wake up our body just by standing up and jumping 5 times. What we're doing is we're just waking up this body so that it becomes an inherent part of our voices. Our bodies are important. So, okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shaking out everything, waking up the body, stomping your feet, stretching what you need to. And now we're going to breathe. So, you guys, you can sit back down. Okay, so what we want to do, I'm going to hop straight into the exercise. And as I'm going through this, I won't be able to answer questions as I want this to be nice and fluid. So follow to the best of your abilities. And if you need more guidance, reach out to me after or ask some questions after. Okay, so if you're sitting on a chair, you want to make sure your feet are nice and planted on the ground. If you're sitting on the ground, if you're sitting cross-legged, just make sure that your legs are not falling asleep and that you're nice and comfortable there. So you want to make sure that your spine is nice and tall. So you want to make it sure that it's erect by using your back muscles. And then once you have that nice erect spine, you want to see if you could release anything in the chest and the shoulders and the stomach, because ultimately you really only need those back muscles to keep your alignment correct. So our shoulders are released, stomach, chest. And now we're going to gently either close the eyes for those of you who are comfortable, or you can find, like I said, that nice focal point in front of you on the floor, as long as your mind and your energy is focused. So you guys, I'm going to calm my energy for a second from all this coffee. So we're closing our eyes, and I just want you guys to take a few deep breaths in and out on your own time. And you're just beginning to put your mental attention on where your mind, where your breath, and where your body is at today. Again, making a mental note. Oh, my stomach muscles are not releasing today. That's okay. Just noticing any part of the body or even the mind that pops up today. And once you notice those parts of the body that might need a little extra coaxing into relaxation today, what I want you to do is I want you on your inhale to send thoughts of kindness, of gratitude, and of release to that one specific part of the body. And you're going to be repeating this process for all those parts of the body. So on your inhale, coming to that one part of the body, and sending thoughts of gratitude and release. For example, I like to say, it's okay to release and it's okay to relax. So what you're doing here is you're generating positive energetic vibrations, sending that to that part of the body that is tense today and reminding it that you are here for it. So on your inhale, taking in thoughts of gratitude and release, and on your exhale, seeing if you can mentally allow that part of your body to just melt and release a little deeper into the stomach muscles below you, into the chair below you, and into the floor below you. And you guys, for just a moment, I want you to repeat this process for any part of the body that showed up in your practice today that needs a little extra love. Okay, and now from that nice, centered, relaxed place, hopefully your guys' body and minds are feeling a little clearer, a little more relaxed. We're going to go into this breathing exercise, keeping those eyes closed. Just as a reminder, we're breathing in through the mouth as though we're breathing in through a straw for a slow count of 8. Holding the breath at the top for 4 slow counts, dropping any tension in the shoulders, the chest. Exhaling slowly for a full count of 8 through the nose. And if you need to, work with where you're at. If you need to take little breaths in between, work with where you're at, but challenge yourself to your fullest extent. So before we inhale, letting all the air that's currently living in your body, let it deflate and exhale all the way through to the lower belly. And we're inhaling through the mouth. And 1, 2, 3. Try to make it all the way to the top of the inhale. 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold the breath. Drop any shoulder tension. Drop any stomach tension. 4. And exhale slowly through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do this 2 more times, catching your breath if you need to, real quickly in between. And we're going to inhale through the mouth. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're holding the breath, dropping any tension in the shoulders, telling your body you could do this. 4, and out through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one more time, catching your breath if you need to. Ideally, we'll do these consecutively. And we'll breathe in through the mouth. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're holding the breath, dropping the shoulders, dropping the tension, fighting through that fight or flight. 4, and out through the nose, slowly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you guys keep those eyes closed for just a moment. Let your breathing come back to normal. And when you feel ready, you can begin to wiggle your fingers or stretch your body or come back to the space before opening your eyes. And you guys, when you come back, just type in the chat. Let me know how that was for you. I couldn't watch you guys because I can't see you, so I couldn't monitor how it was going. So please let me know in the chat while I grab some more coffee. And obviously, in an individualized session, we would individualize this work based on where you're at and get you to expedite this process a little bit more rather than doing it on your own. So again, please share with me if you experienced that today with me, or if you're just watching, try this later, please. Again, perfect practice makes perfect. Yay, Julia said all facial tension has released and she didn't even know she had it. That's so exciting, Julia. That's exactly what this is about, is becoming mindful of certain subconscious things. My mom says, aloha, this is mom. I'm with dad. Good. Did you do the exercise? Thank you for being here. But anyways, I'm really glad to hear that, Julia. Because that's what being mindful, that's what singing with mindfulness and ease is all about, is just beginning to recognize those things. Okay, I'm going to keep moving forward because I'm not getting a response from anybody else. But I hope that you guys actually did that exercise. If you didn't, I'm telling you, do it, because it is amazing. And it is truly life-changing if you practice it consistently. Great. So let's move into tool number 2. So you guys, oh, yay. Selena says, connected me to my entire body and mind. Again, that is the best, because that's what we're doing here. We want to make sure that our voice is connected to our entire system and not just a separate part of who we are. Yay, thank you, Selena, for doing that with me. And Selena, I think you came in halfway through the notes part of it. So if you have time, this will be replayed on my YouTube page and on my Instagram. Go back and take those notes so you can fully understand what that exercise is doing for you. And my dad says, feeling great after the exercise. Yay! Okay, you guys, we're going to move to tip number 2. So if you have your notes, get them out again. This is an important one, specifically more for my singers in the group. So tip number 2 is less is more. Less is more. I know you hear that all the time. It's a very general note, and let me get more specific. So, one of the biggest traps we fall into as singers and sometimes as speakers too is feeling like we need to use our necks, our shoulders, our hands, our ab muscles, or any other, hi, Auntie Denise, or any other extra tension in our muscles in order to get our voices out, or in order to get high notes out, or in order to be louder. None of that is true. You don't need any of this extra tension in your body in order to make your voice louder, B, get to higher notes, C, to use your voice in general. So basically, for those of you who have not taken voice lessons before, a little bit about the anatomy of the voice is that you have a larynx here, which is otherwise known as your voice box. And inside of this larynx is your vocal cords or your vocal folds, which are literally the things that come together that make sound waves. And you have little muscles inside your voice box that surround those vocal cords. And those are the muscles that you want to ultimately be working out when we sing. So what I'm talking about in terms of excess tension is all the muscles outside of those muscles that you actually don't need. So what we want to do is we want to be mindful of what our body is doing. So one of the biggest tips I have is that when you're singing or practicing a song, I want you guys to begin to become mindful of what's happening in the little muscles under your tongue. So there are multiple layers of muscles that live underneath your tongue. So what I want you guys to do at home is I want you to use your thumb and I want you to push up against your tongue. Just give it enough pressure so you begin to feel kind of a little bit of resistance. And if you swallow, you'll notice that those muscles push down against your thumb, right? Give me a yes in the chat if you're following, or give me any questions if you're not following. I'm going to keep going. So you put your thumb under your chin, you swallow, you notice those muscles push down. So that is what you do not want to be feeling when you are singing. And this was a life changer for me because I never paid attention to this muscle, and it actually made the most amount of difference. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for joining. So I never paid attention to this muscle, and it actually made the most amount of difference because once you pay attention to releasing this, it's such a mental effort to release this that it begins to release everything else. So it's very exciting. It's a very good tool. But again, these exercises are challenging and difficult. Oh, Christina says life-changing. Yeah, isn't it? So you feel those muscles. You don't want to feel them when you're singing. So what I want you guys to do now is fully relax the face, fully relax the tongue, fully relax everything. I like to call this face my zombified face. We're not doing anything with the mouth or the tongue or anything. And now I want you to put your thumb under your chin and feel that. That's what you want to be feeling. That's the feeling you want like 90% of your singing practice. You want to make sure you're feeling it release in the tongue and in all of these extra muscles, even when you move your mouth. All those muscles are released. So I hope you guys are making weird la 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 sounds at home too. Okay, so that's my tip, is always pay attention to this tongue muscle when you're singing. And here's one exercise that I will teach you in order to do that. Obviously, there are multiple exercises. This tongue tension is not going to go away immediately, especially if you have been a singer for a while and have developed habits alternative to this. So again, practice makes perfect, but also perfect practice makes perfect. I'll show you guys one exercise that helps with this. So we're moving into tool number 2, and I'm moving rather quickly. So if I'm moving too quickly, you guys just let me know in the chat. You're here with me. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the exercise, demonstrate it first, and then you'll do it with me. So I want you to really focus, pay attention to what I'm telling you, because like I said, perfect practice makes perfect. You want to make sure you're doing this right. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making an ugly sound, so please indulge me in your space at home. We're going to be saying the word hung, H-U-N-G, but we're going to be really focusing on that NG sound to make it nice and ugly, and it's going to be the vibrating waves of your voice are going to be sitting in what's called the pharyngeal resonator, or your nasal cavity. These are words you will learn if you take voice lessons. So we're going to say hung, hung, hung. And you'll notice it's nice and ugly. So, one other thing for my new singers who have not taken a lot of voice lessons before, a lot of vocal exercises are very ugly. They do not sound pretty. And that's honestly a good thing. And it's not what your singing voice is going to sound like, but it is just exercises so you begin to feel certain placements and coordinations. So trust this process. Trust that your voice is not going to sound like this when you sing. Okay, so we're saying hung. And what we're doing is we're going to be sliding from one octave to another. So we're going to be doing this. Hung. I know it sounds so weird. Again, please indulge me. So what you're doing is you're moving really slowly through that octave slide so that you're able to really work through those difficult transitions that might be giving you tension under your tongue. So for today, this is not a singing exercise. This is an exploration and discovery exercise, a mindfulness exercise. So you begin to pay attention to what's going on with your tongue. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I want you to add your thumb under the tongue for this whole exercise. Monitor it the whole time. Make sure it's not pushing down. And we're going to try it. And I will give you guys notes along the way because it might get a little difficult. So I'm going to do the exercise and you're going to repeat it at home, whatever you hear me do. For my lower voices out there, if you feel that it's getting too high, you can always jump down the octave below. Again, this is an exploration, discovery exercise. Work with where you're at, but challenge yourself to your fullest extent. Okay, so everybody put your thumb under your chin. Give yourself enough pressure. You're not just holding it here. You're giving yourself pressure so you could feel the resistance if it arises. So we're going to start here. I'll do it first. You guys repeat. You guys try it at home. And if you're beginning to already feel any sort of tension in the tongue, even on that first one, let's try it again. Let's try to make it even uglier, okay? Again, we're not going to be singing like this. It's just an exercise. So we want to use that hung so that you feel it buzzing right here and in the back of your soft palate. Hung. Hopefully that made it a little bit easier. If you're still feeling that resistance, again, this is an exploration and discovery exercise. So if it's feeling difficult, what I want you to do is I want you to decide what you might need to fix in order to make these muscles release. This is the focus. So does that mean, let's see, for example, does that mean paying more attention to releasing these outside muscles? Are you noticing this happen? That's constricting, so release those muscles. Does that mean pulling back a bit on volume or airflow? And you'll notice it's okay if your voice is a little vulnerable, if it's breaking, if it's cracking. That is okay. That just means that you are tapping into a new sort of coordination that your body is not used to. So trust the process. So again, figure out what it is that needs to change. Notice things. Become mindful of what your body is doing. So we're going to move up. And again, notice these things as we go up. So let's try up here. Nice and ugly. You try it at home. And we're going up. Trying it at home. Good. My mom says, this is mom. It's amazing how hard it is not to have pressure from your tongue. The uglier the sound, the less pressure from tongue. That is so, so right. It is very, very challenging and very difficult to not have pressure from your tongue because, like I said, we develop these habits day to day, and even speaking, we're not aware of those things that are tensing up. So that's what this work is for, is becoming mindful of that. And yes, the uglier the sound, the less pressure from the tongue. This is why we make ugly sounds, so we can begin to feel that. So let's just go up one more. playing around with your jaw and everything. Okay, you guys, I hope you're trying this at home. Please let me know in the chat, in addition to my mom, what you guys are experiencing so that if there are any troubles, I'm here to help you right now if you have any questions. Okay. There are no questions yet. So I'm going to keep going, you guys. So in relation to that exercise, that is just one exercise that monitors tension. Selena says, sounding super ugly here. Good. And Julia says, placing finger under the tongue definitely helps, right? Yes. So like I said, this is just one exercise that begins to make you mindful of that. There are other exercises that ultimately begin to release those muscles a little bit more. For those of you who have studied with me, you know what I'm talking about. So again, you guys, if you have any more specific questions, please reach out to me, schedule a lesson, because these tools are really exciting. So Selena, I'm glad you're allowing yourself to find those ugly sounds. That's all a part of singing and using your voice, is using those inherent sounds. Okay, so I'm going to move into tip number 3 because we're about at the end of time. So I want to make sure that you guys have enough time to get this exercise down. So everybody get your notes out. Tip number 3 for singing with mindfulness and ease is learn to manage your energy. This is so important. So knowing where your energy is in each part of your body. Oh, one question, hold that thought. Julie has a question. What's that part vibrating in this exercise? The soft palate. Yes. So because the back of your tongue is hitting the soft palate, you're going to feel it vibrating right there. And for those of you who don't know what your soft palate is, if you use your tongue, you'll feel at the top, at the roof of your mouth, there's like the hard ridges. That's called your hard palate. And if you move it all the way back almost to the throat, you'll feel that soft part. That's called your soft palate. And on any NG sound, the back of your tongue reaches that soft palate. So practice that at home. Practice feeling your soft palate. That's what's going to be vibrating, and you'll also feel the sound, the literal sound waves vibrate in this part of your face. And that's living in your nasal cavity or your pharyngeal resonator, which is a part of your head that you need in order to get higher notes out. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to continue with tip number 3. Thank you, Julia, for your question. So knowing where the energy is in each part of your body when you're singing is one of the most important things that I've found to help me not only ground myself, ground my breathing, ground my energy, but it also gives me an opportunity to recognize, oh, there are nerves arising in my body. Let me refocus and recontrol, reground my energy. So it's good to have tools to know how to do this, because there are a lot of things we do as singers, I've been mentioning this the whole time, that are unconscious. So for example, raising the neck when we try to get high notes, tensing any muscles in the body in order to get the sound out. We don't need any of that. So my tip number 3 is I want you guys to, in any singing practice, whether you're vocalizing, whether you're performing, whether you're rehearsing, whether you're auditioning, I want you guys to begin to pay attention to what all parts of your body are doing when you're singing. Because I cannot stress this enough, your voice comes from your entire system. It's not just one part of your body, it's your entire body, and you're communicating your deepest truths. So, in your body is a good indicator, your body language is a good indicator of where your energy at, which ultimately translates to where your brain is at, because we control everything from the brain and from the body. So, for example, what things we'd like to pay attention to. Do you lift your chin? Like I said, do you lift your chin to get out high notes? Begin to pay attention to that. What do you do when you get towards high notes? Do you scrunch your face? What thought processes go through your mind when you get to that high note? Begin to pay attention to those things. Do you sway back and forth on your feet when you perform? Is it intentional dancing, or is it just discomfort in your confidence, in your grounding, in your energy? Begin to pay attention to that. Do you look down towards the floor when you practice? I've noticed this a lot, is that when we feel uncomfortable with what we're doing, we put our focus down. We want to change that, shift that. It shifts things in the brain. And then do you hunch your shoulders to help you get your sound out? Pay attention to that and release them. So one precursor note is that doing some of these things is fine. Like I said, if you're singing and you're dancing intentionally to your music, that is fine, but only once you have control of your vocal coordination. So the point here is that we're harnessing our energy and using it in the most efficient way so that it doesn't get away from us, and therefore our voice doesn't get away from us. We're always in control. So once you have the proper tools for your vocal coordination, then you can allow your body to have more freedom. But while you're in the process of being mindful of what's going on in your body, you want to make sure everything's intentional so that it becomes intentional and confident. Yay! So you guys, any questions before I move into the last exercise of the day? Just give me a yes or no so I know you're here with me. There's a bit of a lag, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting because I know people are here. And you guys, once again, thank you for joining me on this today. This was so much fun. Okay, Julia doesn't have any questions, so I'm going to move forward. Yay. So, you guys, I want everybody to stand on your feet. We're going to be doing a grounding exercise. Facebook can't see me, so I'm going to lift this. So we're going to be doing a grounding exercise. And what this means is it's going to be very heavily dependent on your mental commitment. So something that we don't realize about energy work is that it doesn't work. You don't notice the physical benefits unless you're really mentally connected with it. And if you're really mentally connected with the visualization work, which has been scientifically proven to work. So you guys, trust this process. Please be open to it. And please commit yourself 100% to what you are visualizing today, because that's when you'll begin to actually notice things changing in your system. And please trust me when I say that I have tried these all for myself and they all do work. So I want you to stand up, make sure your feet are planted nice and flat on the ground, and make sure they're hips width apart so that you have a nice solid stance there. But then I want you to make sure that your knees are not locked. So just bouncing a little bit, just releasing them, and your hands will be at your sides. And again, making sure there's no tension in your tummy, there's no tension in your chest. You're releasing all that. You could do a little dance before we begin. And Katie Peeps joined. Hi. Thank you for joining. We're about to do an energetic exercise. So we're all standing on our feet are planted, our knees are not locked, our hands are at our side, and I want you to imagine that you sort of have a little bit of breath in the armpits, so your shoulders are not just slumping. You're really engaged and energized in this exercise. And then your eye focus point. This is very important because this is what you'll sort of want to be practicing when you continue to practice your voice, your singing exercises, is you want to imagine that you're standing on a stage, there's an audience in front of you, and you're looking just slightly above and beyond that audience. So that's where you'll want to keep your focal point, your attention, your energy moving. You want to imagine that your energy is moving in that direction as you go through any singing practices, any exercises, any performances. And once again, once you master this, you'll have more freedom of the body. So our feet's planted, our knees are not locked, we're looking out, and for this exercise, we're going to keep our vision open. We're going to keep our eyes open because this is an active visualization. We're not going so internal. We want to make sure that we're able to access this when we're actually in a stressful situation. So we're looking out, we're keeping our eyes open, and again, we want to focus on the visualization. So once you're nice and comfortable standing here, I want you now to imagine that your energy is turning into energetic vibrations or energetic waves, and you can use whatever visualization works for you. Maybe that means you're envisioning that there are little vibrating electric blue waves in each part of your body. You're envisioning that those waves are vibrating throughout your entire system, even the energy in your toes, the energy in your fingers. And I want you to just sit with this for a moment so you begin to really feel and see that in your mind's eye. So you're imagining there's energetic blue or pink or white waves coursing through your entire body. Just take a moment to feel that. And if you begin to feel a little bit warm, That's a good thing. That means energy is moving, and that means you're feeling the physical results already. So, once you have that energetic visualization, you're imagining that there's colored energy moving through your body, through all parts of your body. Don't neglect any part of the body. We want to now imagine that those energetic waves are moving from the extremities of your body and slowly cycling and penetrating through each cell of the body as the energy moves to circulate in a condensed ball in the center of your stomach. So you're imagining that all the energy in the body, from your fingers, from your toes, from your head, from your legs, it's all beginning to course through each cell of your body to come meet at the center of your stomach. And imagining this circulating ball of energy, and it's sitting in the middle of your body. So it's actually circulating through your organs. It's circulating through every part of your body. It's not outside of you, it's a part of you. So you're really visualizing this. So now you should begin to feel your energy moving a little bit, hopefully, if your visualization is strong enough. So now you're beginning to feel a little bit more grounded. And now I want you to imagine that circulating ball of energy is continuing to circulate, but now that condensed ball is moving lower into your lower belly. Again, as it circulates, it penetrates through all the cells, whatever that means to you, whether that relaxes them or not, whether that fills them with more energy. So we're moving that ball of energy down lower, and now it's continuing to move through your legs, through your lower body, through your knees, penetrating through all the cells in your shins, your calves, all the way through your feet. And I want you to imagine that circulating ball of energy is now moving deeper into the floor below you, connecting with the energy still in your body and going all the way into the core of the earth. So now your energy is vibrating with the core of the earth. You might feel like your legs are extending. You're really imagining that flow of energy. And I want you to use your breath now to add to that visualization. On your inhale, you're imagining your energy flowing in your stomach. On your exhale, you're imagining those energetic waves moving down into the core of the earth. And I don't know what you guys are feeling, but I'm feeling warm, which is a good sign. That means energy is moving. So you're still continuing to imagine that your energy is connecting with the core of the earth. You're grounding yourself. Again, you're checking in, making sure your knees are not locked. And just take a deep breath here. And now to come back to the space, I want you to imagine that the energy at the core of the earth is now coming back to meet your feet. It's engaging with your body again. That ball of energy is moving back into your stomach, circulating here again for a moment, continuing to penetrate the cells. And now that energy is redispersing into the rest of your body. Your body is beginning to come back to its normal energetic state. And before shaking it out, just taking a deep breath, rolling out the neck, having your body come back to normal, and then shaking it out a little bit. And you guys, my feet are already feeling grounded. What you should be feeling is your feet should feel a little bit more extended on the ground. Your energy should be feeling a little bit more, not confined, but focused. And if you guys are feeling anything, please let me know in the chat and we can go ahead and sit back down and I'll tell you what the purpose of that was for. Boop. Please join me in the chat if you did this exercise. This is a good one, and like I said, it might be difficult at first because it is largely a mental exercise, which translates to physical when you practice it enough. So if you guys are not feeling anything today, I encourage you to continue practicing this work. I promise you, yes, more awareness of my extremities is what Julia says. Good. That's very, very good. So we have A, more awareness of our extremities, and then B, the more we practice focusing our energy in this way, the easier it will become. And I have this experience because I also have done energy healing. So it's all a part of your intuition and really understanding what the energy in your body feels like. It is a very real thing. So the more you train your brain to be connected with that flow of energy, the more it'll help. And Selena says, your visualization helped me truly connect. Yes, that's exactly what it's about. You want to connect to your whole body. Good. So I love to hear that. So, like I said, more continuation, repetition of this, you'll be more in tune with feeling the energy so that you'll know that it's real. And the quicker you'll be able to access that grounding. So, this is something that I use anytime I'm singing and I notice myself get a little nervous about a high note and I feel my energy going this way, out this way. I'll just remind myself, okay, no, hone in that energy. So, in the moment, and it literally takes me one breath to retain my energy into one space again so that I can focus here and get out my sounds in the way that is natural and a way that is grounded and a way that is confident. So I encourage you guys to practice, practice, practice this, because if you don't practice, you won't be able to do it quickly. So this is a super easy one to practice. Again, this video will be archived so you could come back to it. Practice it so you can begin to do it faster, because I promise that it will help you and it will make you even more mindful of what you're going through. My mom says, thank you, Nisa. This is mom. This was great. Thank you for joining, family. Selena, Auntie Denise, cousin Brian, Elenia, Jossie, Bryce, Christina, JB, Bonnie, Lil Ava. And is that Katie Petola? No, I don't think it is. Let me see. Oh, she's not on anymore, but anyways, yes, thank you everyone for joining us. So that's the end of my tips and tools for today. Um, Yes, my dad said I love feeling the energy. Yes, and you can have control over that. You begin to feel, I guess I'll give you an example of what the energy feels like. So if you begin to practice this and you feel these things, that's such a great thing. You begin to feel warmness in your body, because when energy moves, it creates friction. So you're literally creating warmth in your body. That's why anyone who's done an energy healing with me, you know that when I use my hands to heal you, they're always very warm, because what you're doing is you're literally just moving energy. So you'll begin to feel warm. You'll begin to feel like your feet are really rooting into the ground, as long as you're not locking your knees. And you'll literally begin to feel your energy focus in one area. It's really, really awesome. So I'm excited for you guys to continue to practice that. So yay! So I'm done with my tips and tools, you guys. I have a bit of time for some Q&As if you have any before I end the call. And for those of you, again, who have joined late, we did a lot of really great stuff today. So I encourage you to watch the archived video of this. It'll be on my YouTube, and I'll post the first half, however long it'll let me, on IGTV. And Selena says, your energy healings are the best. Yay, thank you. Yeah, I encourage you to go through all these tips and tools, because they're really good and they're really functional for everyday life. So you guys, do you have any questions for me before I leave ya? No questions, no questions. If there are no questions, just give me an emoji to let me know how this was. And if anybody has, yay, thank you, Julia. This is actually my first live for those of you who weren't here at the beginning. So if you have any feedback also, please let me know, because it is kind of weird giving exercises when I can't see you guys or work with you individually. So hopefully this was impactful and that it helped. Yay, we got some heart emojis. Auntie Denise says, no questions, great tips. Amazing. Yay. I'm so excited. This went so well, you guys. So I am all done for today, and thank you guys again for joining me. I appreciate it so much. Your energy adds so much to my work. So I will see you guys next time, and please message me if you would like to take a lesson. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. How do I end this? Let's see. Oh, end. Okay. All right. Bye, you guys. Mwah! I love you.